The vast emptiness of space stretched before the USS horizon, its sleek hull cutting through the darkness like a knife. Captain Hee Kim stood at the bridge, her eyes fixed on the quantum scanners that had been humming quietly for months. Deep space exploration was their mission, but today something felt different. A faint energy signature flickered on the screen. At first it was barely noticeable, just a tiny pulse of light amid the endless black. But as the seconds ticked by, the signature grew stronger, more intense. Kim leaned forward, her breath catching in her throat. Jay Park, the ship's lead sensor analyst, began rapid-fire calculations. His fingers danced across the holographic displays, pulling up layers of spatial data. "Captain," he called out, "we're detecting massive energy signatures. This is unlike anything we've ever seen." The main viewing screen came to life, revealing a scene of unimaginable scale. Two enormous fleets faced each other, their ships stretching across entire star sectors. Crystalline vessels of impossible geometry clashed with angular silicon-based ships. Weapon discharges lit up the darkness, creating momentary explosions that looked like newborn stars. 800,000 years, Jay whispered, pulling up historical database fragments. These civilizations have been fighting continuously for 800 millennia. The Horizon's crew watched in stunned silence. Each ship was massive, some larger than entire planetary systems. Weapon exchanges happened with mathematical precision, suggesting this was no random conflict, but a war of calculated destruction. Energy beams cut through space, destroying entire squadrons in milliseconds. Debris fields stretched for millions of kilometers, silent witnesses to centuries of conflict. Captain Kim recognized something unique about this confrontation. This wasn't just a war. It was a form of sustained, ritualized destruction. The ships moved with a choreographed precision that suggested the conflict had become more than just a battle. It was a complex cultural and technological dance. Jay's analysis continued. The two civilizations, which he tentatively labeled as the crystalline Zorak and the silicon Krell, seemed technologically matched. Every offensive move was immediately countered. Every strategic advantage was quickly neutralized. The war had reached a perfect, terrible balance. "They've been fighting so long," Jay remarked, "that the conflict is probably their entire civilization's purpose." The Horizon's sensors captured incredible details. Entire star systems had been converted into war machines. Planets stripped bare, converted into massive production facilities. Entire species seemingly dedicated to nothing but continued warfare. The scale was beyond human comprehension. Captain Kim made a decision. "Prepare standard first contact protocols," she ordered. Her voice was calm, but her hands were tight on the command console. The human vessel was tiny compared to the massive warships, but something about its presence began to change the battle's dynamics. Weapon trajectories slightly shifted. Communication frequencies became momentarily confused. For the first time in 800,000 years, something unexpected had entered the endless war. The Horizon moved forward, not as a threat, but as an unknown variable. Its advanced sensors continued collecting data, mapping the complex conflict with unprecedented detail. Weapon systems remained passive. No aggressive moves were made, just observation, pure, clinical observation. Something was about to change in this ancient, endless conflict, and humanity, represented by this single small exploration vessel, would be the catalyst. The war that had consumed civilizations for 800,000 years was about to meet its first true disruption. Not through violence, not through superior weaponry, but through something far more dangerous: understanding. The moment the Horizon appeared, both alien fleets froze. Weapon systems that had been firing for centuries suddenly went silent. Millions of ships, crystalline and silicon-based, adjusted their trajectories, focusing on the small human vessel. Captain Hee Kim understood the critical moment. One wrong move could mean instant destruction. Her hands remained steady on the navigation controls, her breathing calm and measured. Jay Park's sensor readings went crazy. Thousands of communication frequencies erupted simultaneously. The alien civilizations, locked in their endless war, now shared one common interest: the unexpected human ship. Proximity alerts screamed across the horizon's bridge. Massive weapon signatures charged up, creating energy patterns that could vaporize entire planetary systems. But something was different. The weapons weren't firing. They were analyzing. The Zorak ships, made of intricate crystal structures that seemed to breathe and pulse with internal light, moved first. Their communication was mathematical, precise. Complex geometric patterns translated into what seemed like questions. Who are you? Why are you here? The Silicon Krell responded differently. Their ships looked like perfect mathematical constructs, all sharp angles and impossible symmetries. Their response was a series of rapid energy pulses that could be interpreted as threat displays or curious scanning protocols. "They've never seen anything like us," Jay whispered. Captain Kim knew humanity's strength wasn't in military power, it was in communication. She activated the Universal Translation Matrix, a complex system designed to convert any potential communication into comprehensible language patterns. A simple message was broadcast. We observe, we communicate, we seek understanding. Such a message would have been meaningless in their 800,000-year war. Conflict was their language. Destruction was their communication. Humanity introduced something completely alien: peaceful interaction. The alien fleets hesitated. Millions of ships, representing civilizations that had fought longer than human civilization had existed, suddenly stopped. Weapon systems remained charged but passive. Communication frequencies hummed with confusion. Jay's screens showed something remarkable. The Zorak and Krell communication networks were attempting to decode the human message. Not attack, not destroy, but understand. "They're trying to figure us out," Jay said, excitement building in his voice. Captain Kim allowed a small smile. Humanity's greatest weapon had always been its ability to communicate, to understand, to bridge impossible gaps. The horizon remained perfectly still. No aggressive moves, no defensive postures, just pure, calm presence. Minutes passed, then hours. The massive alien fleets continued their analysis. Weapon systems remained charged but unmoving. It was as if the entire galactic war had paused, waiting to understand this small, unexpected visitor. Something was changing. After 800,000 years of continuous conflict, a single human ship had introduced an entirely new concept: the possibility of something other than war. The universe held its breath. Communication continued. Complex mathematical patterns, energy pulses, geometric translations. Slowly, carefully, two ancient civilizations began to recognize that something fundamental had changed. The horizon waited, patient, calm, representing an entire species ready to listen. First contact wasn't about weapons, it was about understanding. And humanity was about to show the galaxy exactly what that meant. The neutral conference platform hung in deep space, a massive transparent structure that seemed to float between stars. Representatives from the Zorak and Krell civilizations sat on opposite sides, their ancient hatred barely contained beneath diplomatic protocols. Wu Jin stepped forward. He was neither military nor a traditional diplomat. He was a human communication specialist, part psychologist, part mathematician, part peacemaker. 800,000 years, he began, his voice calm and clear. 800,000 years of continuous conflict. Let me explain why. The alien representatives tensed. No one had ever dared to speak to them about their war before. Wu Jin activated a holographic display. It showed complex interaction models, not just battle strategies, but deep cultural patterns. He revealed something shocking. Their war wasn't about resources or territory. It was about a misunderstanding that had happened millennia ago. The Zorak civilization, with their crystal-based biology, had a communication system based on light refraction. The Silicon Krell used electromagnetic frequency exchanges. What one civilization considered a peaceful greeting, the other interpreted as a hostile threat. Your entire war, Wu Jin explained, started from a misunderstood communication 800,000 years ago. The conference room went silent. Mathematical models appeared showing how a single mistranslated communication signal had escalated into a civilization-ending conflict. One small misunderstanding had driven two advanced civilizations into continuous warfare. The Zorak representative, a being of pure crystalline structure that shifted colors with each emotional state, changed from deep blue to a confused purple. The Krell representative, a geometric entity that seemed more machine than organic, pulsed with unexpected energy patterns. Wu Jin wasn't finished. He demonstrated how their economic systems, cultural structures, and entire civilizational frameworks had been built around this continuous conflict. War wasn't just something they did, it had become their entire purpose of existence. "You've forgotten how to be anything else," he said simply. Complex graphs showed how resources, technological, development, social structures, everything, had been optimized for continuous warfare. Peace wasn't just unfamiliar, it was terrifying. The Zorak and Krell representatives realized something profound. Their civilizations weren't just fighting a war. The war was fighting them, consuming them, defining them. Wu Jin introduced a radical concept: collaborative development. What if their incredible technological capabilities were redirected towards mutual growth instead of mutual destruction? The conference platform became a living demonstration of possibility. Human communication models showed potential futures where two incredible civilizations could achieve more together than they ever could apart. Slowly, carefully, walls of hatred began to crack. The Zorak representative's crystalline structure began to show intricate patterns of curiosity. The Krell entity's geometric form pulsed with complex calculations. They were listening. Humanity had done something extraordinary. In a single diplomatic session, they had revealed the fundamental stupidity of a war that had consumed 800,000 years of potential. The universe watched. Waiting. Something was about to change. Kim Day arrived on the conference platform with something most scientists considered impossible: a complete psychological mapping of two alien civilizations. His team had spent months analyzing communication patterns, historical data, and cultural artifacts. The breakthrough was simple, yet revolutionary. Both the Zorak and Krell had developed such complex war mechanisms that their entire civilization functioned like a single massive weapon system. Every technological advancement, every social structure, every communication protocol was designed for conflict. "You are not fighting a war," Kim Day explained. "The war is fighting you." Holographic displays showed how their societies had become so intertwined with conflict that peace seemed like a form of death. Their economies, cultural identities, and technological developments were completely dependent on continuous warfare. Human technology introduced something unexpected: adaptive communication systems that could translate not just language but cultural context, emotional nuances, and historical traumas. The Zorak representative's crystal structure began to pulse with new colors. Blues and purples mixed with unexpected greens, colors representing curiosity and potential understanding. The Silicon Krell's geometric form started generating complex mathematical patterns that suggested emotional complexity. Kim Day's team had discovered something profound. The Zorak and Krell weren't just two civilizations fighting each other. They were two parts of a complex system that had forgotten how to exist without conflict. Technological demonstrations began. Human experts showed how their resources could be redirected. Weapon production facilities could become research centers. Military training could transform into collaborative learning institutions. The platform became a living demonstration of potential. Quantum communication networks revealed layers of misunderstanding. What one civilization considered a threat, the other saw as a communication attempt. Their entire 800,000-year war was essentially a massive, tragic miscommunication. "Imagine," Kim Day said, what you could achieve together. Complex algorithms showed potential collaborative futures. Combined Zorak crystal technology with Krell computational capabilities could solve problems neither civilization could address alone. Space exploration, energy production, scientific research. The war machines began to understand something revolutionary. Cooperation was more efficient than destruction. Human mediators introduced flexibility into rigid systems. They showed how conflict resolution wasn't about winning, but about understanding. Each civilization had unique strengths. Each had incredible potential. The conference platform became a symbol of transformation. Technological barriers began to dissolve. Communication protocols expanded. For the first time in 800,000 years, two civilizations started seeing each other as potential partners instead of eternal enemies. Kim Dae's team had done something extraordinary. They hadn't just stopped a war. They had shown two civilizations how to reimagine themselves. The universe watched, waiting to see what would happen next. Something fundamental was changing. Captain Lee Sung stood before the Galactic Council, her presence both simple and powerful. Behind her, holographic displays showed the impossible. Two civilizations that had fought for 800,000 years now sitting side by side. The transformation was not quick. It was not easy, but it was real. Zorak crystal ships and Krell silicon vessels that once destroyed each other now worked together. Entire star systems, once battlegrounds, became joint research centers. Weapons factories transformed into collaborative technology development zones. We didn't end a war, Lee Sung explained. We helped them remember how to be something more than warriors. The first joint mission was simple. A massive exploration project targeting unexplored galaxy regions. Zorak navigation systems combined with Krell computational capabilities created technology beyond anything previously imagined. Billions of beings watched as former enemies shared scientific discoveries. Communication networks that once transmitted battle strategies now exchanged research data. Entire generations who knew nothing but conflict learned cooperation. Human mediators continued their work quietly. They didn't force change, they showed possibilities. Economic systems that had been built around continuous warfare began restructuring. Military budgets transformed into education and research funds. Entire planetary infrastructures were reimagined. The Zorak representative, a being of pure crystalline intelligence, shared something profound during the council meeting. We had forgotten how to dream, it said. Humans reminded us that existence is more than survival. The Krell delegate, a complex geometric intelligence, added its perspective. Conflict was our language. Cooperation is our potential. Technological breakthroughs happened rapidly, faster than light communication, advanced energy production, complex medical technologies that could heal entire planetary populations. What had seemed impossible became reality. Humanity's role was unique. They hadn't conquered. They hadn't defeated. They had simply shown a different way of understanding. The Galactic Council recognized something extraordinary. A small human exploration vessel had done what millions of years of warfare could not. They had created peace, not through strength, not through violence, but through understanding. Lee Sung understood the true victory wasn't in ending the war. It was in showing two civilizations their shared potential. Star systems that once burned with weapon exchanges now glowed with collaborative research stations. Trade routes replaced battle lines. Communication replaced destruction. The universe watched a transformation unlike any in recorded history. Two civilizations, trapped in an endless cycle of conflict, had found something more important than war. They had found hope. The 800,000-year war was over. A new future had begun and humanity had made it possible.